What if I told you that thousands of Americans are losing money every single month, not because they did anything wrong, not because they broke any rules, but simply because nobody ever told them the full truth about Social Security disability? What if the very system that was designed to protect you when you can no longer work is also quietly set up in a way that penalizes you, limits you, and keeps you trapped? And the people running that system are counting on the fact that most people don't know how it actually works? This is not a conspiracy theory. This is not political. This is simply the reality that hundreds of thousands of disabled Americans are living with right now. And the vast majority of them have no idea why their benefits are being reduced, why they're getting unexpected bills from Social Security, or why their family members are being affected by decisions they made years ago. Today, I am going to show you exactly what this trap looks like, how it works, why almost nobody talks about it, and, most importantly, what you can do to protect yourself and your family before it's too late. If you are receiving Social Security disability insurance, if you are thinking about applying, or if you have a loved one who depends on disability benefits, please do not leave this video. What you are about to hear could save you thousands of dollars and years of unnecessary stress. Welcome to Seniors Updates Hub, the channel that speaks directly to the people who built this country, paid into this system their entire lives, and deserve real answers. Not government talking points, not confusing legal jargon, not the kind of vague information you find on a pamphlet at the Social Security office. Real, honest, clear information that you can actually use. If you are new here, I want to personally welcome you to this community. Please take a moment right now before we go any further and hit that subscribe button. Then tap the bell icon so you never miss an update. We cover Social Security, Medicare, retirement benefits, disability rights, and everything seniors and disabled Americans need to know to protect the benefits they have earned. This channel is for you, and subscribing is completely free. Now, let's talk about something that the Social Security Administration's own website does not make easy to understand. Let's talk about what I call the Social Security disability trap. A combination of rules, limits, and hidden triggers that can reduce your benefits, suspend your payments, or even force you to pay back money you already received. It is real, it is legal, and it is happening to people all across America right now. Let's start at the very beginning, because understanding the trap requires understanding what Social Security disability insurance actually is and what it is not. SSDI, Social Security Disability Insurance, is a federal benefit program for workers who have paid Social Security taxes over the course of their careers and who have become unable to work due to a qualifying physical or mental disability. It is not a welfare program. It is not charity. It is insurance. Insurance that you personally paid for with every paycheck you ever received. When you see that FICA deduction on your pay stub, part of that money went directly into the Social Security Disability Trust Fund. You earned this benefit. But here is where the trap begins to take shape. Because SSDI comes with a set of rules about how much you can earn, rules about what counts as work, rules about your assets, rules about your family members, and rules about what happens if your condition improves. And these rules are written in ways that are genuinely confusing, frequently misunderstood, and sometimes applied inconsistently. And the consequences of breaking these rules, even accidentally, can be severe. Let me walk you through the most dangerous parts of this trap, one by one. The first part of the trap is called substantial gainful activity, and it is where more SSDI recipients get hurt than almost anywhere else. The Social Security Administration has a dollar amount that it considers the threshold for working. In 2025, that amount is $150 per month for non-blind individuals. If you earn more than that amount from work in any given month, Social Security considers you to be engaging in substantial gainful activity, and that can trigger a review of your benefits or ultimately result in your benefits being stopped. Now, on the surface, that sounds straightforward. But here is where it gets complicated, and where the trap snaps shut for so many people. Many SSDI recipients try to go back to work, slowly, carefully, part-time, because they want to contribute, they want to feel useful, or they simply need a little extra money to survive. And Social Security does have a program called the trial work period that is supposed to give you 9 months to test whether you can work again without immediately losing your benefits. But what most people don't know, what nobody tells you when you start that trial work period, is that those 9 months do not have to be consecutive. They can be spread out over a 60-month rolling window. And once you use up those 9 months, you enter what's called the extended period of eligibility, a 36-month window during which your benefits can be stopped and restarted, depending on whether you stay under the substantial gainful activity threshold each month. And once that 36-month window is over, if you earn even $1 above the limit in any single month, your benefits can be terminated entirely. People find this out the hard way. They go back to work, they feel good, they think the system is supporting them, and then months or years later, they receive a letter saying their benefits have ended, or worse, that they owe Social Security money back because of overpayments that occurred during this complicated window of time. This is the trap. The second part of the trap involves overpayments, and this one causes more fear and financial hardship in the disability community than almost anything else I hear about. Here is the scenario that plays out over and over again. An SSDI recipient starts working part-time. They report their earnings to Social Security. But because of the way Social Security processes information, often with delays of several months, their benefits are not adjusted right away. They continue receiving the same monthly payment even as they earn wages. Months go by. Sometimes a year goes by. And then Social Security sends a letter saying, "You were overpaid. You owe us back everything we paid you during those months." We are not talking about small amounts. Overpayment notices for $10,000, $20,000, and even $50,000 are not unheard of. And by law, Social Security can recover that money by withholding your future benefit payments entirely, reducing your monthly check to zero until the debt is paid off. Now, to be clear, there is a process to appeal overpayments. You can request a waiver if the overpayment was not your fault and if repaying it would cause significant financial hardship. And in many cases, those waivers are granted, but you have to know to ask. You have to file the paperwork within 30 days of receiving the overpayment notice. And if you don't know your rights, if nobody tells you that a waiver is even an option, you may simply start receiving reduced payments and not even understand why. This is the part of the trap that makes me most passionate about getting this information out to as many people as possible. Because the people who get hurt by overpayments are almost always people who were trying to do the right thing. They were trying to report their earnings. They were trying to go back to work. They were trying to follow the rules, and the system punished them anyway because of its own processing delays and its own complexity. The third part of the trap is what I call the family benefit ripple effect, and this one affects people who have absolutely no idea it's coming. When you receive SSDI, your dependent family members, your spouse, your children, in some cases other dependents, may also be eligible to receive benefits based on your disability record. These are called auxiliary benefits, and they can be significant. A dependent spouse or child can receive up to 50% of your primary SSDI benefit amount. But here is what the trap looks like for families. If your spouse earns income above a certain threshold, it can affect whether they are eligible for those auxiliary benefits. If a dependent child reaches age 18 and is not disabled themselves, their benefits typically stop. And if your situation changes, if you recover, if you return to work, if your marital status changes, all of those auxiliary benefits can be affected simultaneously, sometimes creating overpayments not just for you, but for your family members as well. I have spoken with seniors and disabled individuals who received overpayment notices, not just in their own name, but notices informing them that their adult child had been overpaid or that their spouse owed money back, all stemming from a single change in the primary beneficiary's status that nobody had clearly explained the downstream consequences of. The fourth part of the trap is one that hits people who are dealing with health improvements, and it is perhaps the most emotionally complicated part of this entire issue. Social Security is legally required to periodically review whether you still qualify for disability benefits. These reviews are called Continuing Disability Reviews, or CDRs. The frequency depends on your condition. Some people are reviewed every 3 years, some every 7 years, and in cases where improvement is expected, reviews can happen as frequently as every 6 to 18 months. If a CDR determines that your condition has improved to the point where you are no longer considered disabled under Social Security's definition, your benefits can be terminated. And here is the part that devastates people. The definition of disability that Social Security uses for continuing disability reviews can be slightly different from the definition they used when they first approved you. Medical technology advances. Treatment options improve. And what was considered a permanently disabling condition 10 years ago may today be considered a manageable condition that still allows for some form of work, in Social Security's eyes. People come out of a continuing disability review with a termination letter and a sense of complete shock. They are still sick. They still cannot do the work they used to do. But according to the Social Security Administration's medical evaluation, they no longer meet the current standard for disability. And now they have 60 days to appeal that decision, or lose their benefits permanently. If you receive a notice of a continuing disability review, do not respond to it without understanding your rights. Do not assume that because you were approved before, you will be approved again. And do not, under any circumstances, ignore that notice. A missed CDR can result in an automatic termination of your benefits. The fifth part of the trap is something that most people have never even heard of, and it involves a provision in Social Security law called the windfall elimination provision and the government pension offset. If you worked in a job that did not pay into Social Security, certain government jobs, some state and local government positions, some jobs covered by a different pension system, and you also worked in jobs that did pay into Social Security, the windfall elimination provision can significantly reduce your SSDI or retirement benefit. The formula used to calculate your benefit is adjusted in a way that can take hundreds of dollars per month away from what you expected to receive. And if you are the spouse or widow of an SSDI recipient, the government pension offset can reduce or completely eliminate the spousal or survivor benefits you expected to receive based on your spouse's work record, if you yourself receive a pension from a non-covered government job. These two provisions have been controversial for decades. Many people in Congress have tried to repeal or reform them, but as of today, they remain in effect, and every year they catch thousands of people completely off guard. People who planned their entire retirement and disability income strategy around a certain expected benefit amount, only to find out at the worst possible time that the number they were counting on was wrong. Now, what can you actually do about all of this? The most important thing you can do is get informed before a crisis happens. If you are receiving SSDI right now, know your substantial gainful activity limit. Know exactly where you stand in your trial work period. Report any earnings to Social Security promptly, in writing, with documentation, and keep copies of everything. If you receive an overpayment notice, do not panic and do not ignore it. You have the right to appeal, and you have the right to request a waiver. Contact a Social Security attorney or a benefits counselor as quickly as possible. Many of them offer free initial consultations, and the fee for an approved disability case is regulated by law. If you are approaching a continuing disability review, document everything. Get updated medical records from all of your treating physicians. Make sure your doctors understand what your day-to-day limitations actually look like. Not just your diagnosis, but how your condition affects your ability to work, to concentrate, to be on your feet, to handle stress. Social Security's medical evaluators are looking at function, not just diagnosis. And if you believe the windfall elimination provision or the government pension offset may apply to you, contact Social Security directly and ask them to walk you through exactly how your benefit is being calculated. Ask for the calculation in writing. Compare it against your earnings record and your pension information. And if something doesn't look right, you have the right to request a review. One more thing I want to address, because I hear this concern constantly from seniors and disabled individuals who watch this channel. Many people are afraid to ask questions or challenge Social Security decisions because they fear it will somehow make things worse or draw unwanted attention to their case. I want to be direct with you. That fear is understandable, but it should not stop you from advocating for yourself. You have legal rights, you have appeal rights, you have the right to representation. The Social Security system is large and complicated and sometimes makes mistakes. And the only way those mistakes get corrected is when the people affected speak up. Let's take a moment and bring everything together, because I want to make sure you walk away from this video with clarity, not fear, but clarity. The Social Security disability trap is real. It is made up of overlapping rules, the substantial gainful activity threshold, the trial work period, the extended period of eligibility, the overpayment recovery system, continuing disability reviews, and provisions like the windfall elimination provision, that on their own might each seem manageable, but together create a system that is genuinely difficult to navigate without the right information. The people who fall into this trap are not careless people. They are not people trying to cheat the system. They are hard-working Americans who paid into Social Security their entire careers, who became disabled through no fault of their own, and who are simply trying to live with dignity. They deserve better than to be blindsided by rules they were never clearly told about. That is exactly why this channel exists. Seniors Updates Hub is here to make sure that you are never blindsided. We believe that knowledge is protection. We believe that seniors and disabled Americans deserve to walk into every conversation with Social Security, with Medicare, with any government agency, armed with the information they need to protect what is rightfully theirs. If today's video helped you, if it answered a question you have been carrying for a while, or if it helped you understand something about your benefits that was not clear before, please give this video a thumbs up. That simple action tells us to keep making this kind of content, and it helps other people in our community find this information when they need it most. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to Seniors Updates Hub right now. Hit that subscribe button and make sure your notifications are turned on. We publish new videos regularly, covering Social Security updates, Medicare changes, benefit tips, and everything you need to know to protect your financial security and your peace of mind. Do you have questions about Social Security disability that were not covered in today's video? Have you personally dealt with an overpayment notice, a continuing disability review, or any other issue with your SSDI benefits? Leave your experience in the comments section below. Your story might be exactly what another member of this community needs to hear. We read every single comment, and we do our best to respond. Thank you for being part of Rule by Seniors. You matter, your benefits matter, and we will be right here, every step of the way, to make sure you have the information you need to protect them. We will see you in the next video.